All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello, and welcome to episode 159 of CONSERVATISH. Me llamo es Pedro Feliciano, and I'm your Latinx host today. What the fuck was I going to say?
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
¿Cómo es Juan?
Radio Romántica, 70.3. I don't know how it is in San Diego. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're subscribed wherever you're listening. Make sure you share this with your less offendable friends. This is going to be a very different episode probably from the last one. I'll just start it off by saying cunt. Wow. And what else? You can find me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano and on TikTok for now at CONSERVATISH and on Twitter at Rule62Peter and on Facebook. And yeah, again, wherever you're listening, make sure you subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, Latinx of all ages, maybe not all ages, we have the wonderful Diana Death as our guest today. Yay!
Luz, thank you for inviting me. This is probably what, the third or fourth time we've tried to have this interview.
Yes.
There were gremlins in the system. I don't know if Macedonian data farmers were involved.
I think Chinese.
The
Come on, let's be real.
that we experienced so many times.
Yeah,
so many times.
Let's be real. It's the Chinese.
But it's okay because now it's momentous. You know, it's. I am about like releasing this song that I just wrote. It's kind of a shitlord anthem. I'm kind of shy and quiet about it because I don't like to brag. I don't mean to boast, but you know.
What a great title, a shitlord anthem.
Well, it is. I mean, I looked around and saw that nobody else was getting censored like I was, and nobody else was complaining, had a reason to complain like I did, and no other bands were writing songs about being censored or anything like. Well, no, pardon. Barbecuity and Dream Machine, those are homies of mine. We've all been censored in some form or another and found each other, like us few rockers that have experienced the bad end of cancel culture or uptightness or whatever it is you want to call it. We've all managed to somehow sniff each other out on the dark intellectual web, or what the fuck do they call it? The intellectual dark web. Somehow we all managed to find each other, and you as well, and Mike Harlow. Okay, before how I found you was through Mike Harlow, because my very last post before getting permanently banned, I stood up for Mike Harlow. Mm-hmm. He said something about why is it that people like us that don't fit, you know, the communist, leftist, progressive, democratic, socialist, et cetera, agenda, whatever one must call it. However, yeah. I don't know. It changes all the time. But that, how come Richard Spencer? He's supposed to be like this horrible, evil creep, alt-right, you know, extremist, and he's still got an active Twitter, and so does David Duke. But yet, you know, Mike Harlow and these other queers for Trump, or, you know, gays for walk away, they get the axe. It doesn't make sense. And of course, Mike has gotten it 3 times. I got it once. They never gave it back to me, so I'm a little jealous.
As a OG punk songstress, do you feel bad that you've only been banned once?
Well, no, this is my second time, because my second platform. First, I was permanently banned from Facebook.
What's the story behind that?
I don't really know.
Porn?
In October of 2014.
Wow.
People just decided they didn't want me on the platform, and the easiest way to get rid of me was to complain about my stage name. And so I got 3, somehow I learned I got 3 complaints within 1 week. So that was just, I'm obviously a menace to society. So
Right.
with no recourse, not knowing who complained about me nor why, nor, you know,
Was it a
what.
different, did
But
you have a different stage name or was it the same
no,
one?
Diana Death, but they reported me. Facebook doesn't care what you call yourself until someone reports you.
Right.
Until, you know, the brown shirts come with their thumbs, you know, and make it an issue. So
Right.
it became an issue, and yeah, I got permanently banned from that because I refused to give them Zuckerberg and his other minions, whatever lizard people, my passport,
Right.
California ID. We
Right.
accept copies of your fucking utility bills
Right.
and whatnot. And then they're like, but trust us, your information's safe with us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we won't tell you what we're gonna do with it, but trust us, it's totally safe. I wasn't gonna do that. I wasn't gonna subject myself to that.
Right.
And it sucks because they also did it to Cheetah Chrome of the Dead Boys. I mean, he's been Cheetah Chrome since probably, what, 1974, 75, something like that.
Mm.
And people complained. I don't know why the fuck you would complain about Cheetah Chrome, or why would you complain about me, Diana Death, either.
No,
But
here's what it is. Here's what it is. It's a continuation of the shit that I always talk about. People don't put principles before personalities. They don't really want freedom of speech or freedom of name or freedom of whatever if it affects the thing that they like. So like as an example, they probably only complained because of the shit you were posting. Were you already turning a little bit anti-liberal at that point or no?
I wasn't even aware. I wasn't even aware of the socio-political implications of the fact that I've always been politically incorrect humorist. I've always been like George Carlin, Bill Hicks, Richard Pryor. You know, these are the people that I grew up with, Sam Kinison, you know, just telling it. Even Patrice O'Neill, just telling it.
My
People
favorite.
that uncensored, and that's how I grew up. That's what I know.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I'm like laughing at stuff, ha, 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 ha. And I look around and people are dropping off, and I'm like one of the only people still laughing at stuff. Whoa. I started noticing, definitely, yeah, 2014 is when there seemed to be some kind of weird shift.
Right.
I don't know if it was because then the second Obama term was like in full force and effect. However, I had voted twice for Obama. Not knowing that me wanting like a second coming of the Kennedys, but black, you know?
Right.
Thinking that we were gonna be like post racial and super duper enlightened and informed and
Right.
everybody be groovy and all this.
Right.
And it turned out to be the opposite, and intersectionality became an issue, and divisions. Intersectional thinking is
So when did it become, because punks used to be much more liberal, and now punks, it's more punk to not be full on bullshit. So when did the cuntiness switch over, do you think?
well, the funny thing is, okay, I've always identified as, and now it's kind of embarrassing because people have made it
Right.
become hella cringe and embarrassing, but punk and anarchism have always, you know, there's an intersection between punk and anarchism. And I've always thought, as a philosophy of recognizing no authority but my own, nor wanting to be an authority over anyone else. Like, I don't want to be oppressed. I don't want to oppress nobody, no masters, no slaves, you know, that whole thing. And I carried that with me till now, you know, but now, because I'm so not wanting to be governed, that makes me far right. It's like, what the fuck? I used to be here with everybody, and then everyone moved way the fuck, way the fuck out there. I can't even see them anymore. They won't see me. They ran away from me. They're way the fuck.
You know what I think it is? You know what I think it is? I think it's the mandating of being nice. Now, now everybody's definition of being nice is different. What you and I seem to understand is that there's a difference between teasing and actually wanting to oppress or murder or silence, right?
Harm.
Right, and actual harm, exactly. But when they fucked with the definitions and they made believe that black people have always been oppressed forever and ever, amen, then it essentially what the liberals have tried to do is, okay, we're going to mandate everybody be nice so that we can raise up these poor blackies who can't help themselves, these poor gays who can't help themselves, these poor trans people who can't help themselves.
It erases, not only minimizes, but erases all of the contributions and all the accomplishments that people have made, you know, as if, oh, no, none of that good stuff ever happened. Nobody that was of a, quote, minority community has ever accomplished anything. Like, what the fuck?
Right, they've just been, that's what I was talking with somebody a few episodes ago, and I was thinking like, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just don't see being a woman as an impediment, nor being an immigrant from Mexico or whatever as an impediment. Nobody holds me down. There's no patriarchy. I've said it probably since 2014, which might be a reason why motherfuckers dropped off of my friends list on Twitter at the time. But I've always said, to me, the patriarchy in America, at least in the United States, is as real as Gargamel. He's in, you know, stirring the cauldron and oppressing the Smurfs, whatever.
Right.
Whatever. I'm not as affected as other people, I guess. I'm immune. I don't know. Am I stupid? They think so, because I'm not affected by these things. I don't see myself as oppressed. Why the fuck would I see myself as oppressed? It's stupid. It's defeatist. You know, by its very nature, intersectionality is, you know, putting people like colored Legos. But are you light skinned? Am I brown enough to be indigenous?
Right.
Or am I too pointy nosed? You know, showing my conquistador.
Are you Jewish? Is that what it is?
No, but just like that Spanish.
No, I know. I just wanted to make a Jew joke. That's all. I just wanted to make.
Oh no, I doubt it. I seriously doubt it.
Right, because then I would have to get off the show. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, the people I've talked about it on the show, but like the motherfuckers who like Richard Spencer are actually pretty like boring. Like they're not really someone to like be afraid of. They're not really influencing motherfuckers. You know what I mean? If anybody's looking to be a racist cunt, they're gonna find a way. They're gonna find a justification.
All these people are dorks. They're dorks. And even Nick Fuentes, when I was on Twitter, like in I don't know, was it 2017, whenever it was that he picked a booger and ate it, I said, LOL, you ate it. And he immediately blocked me. So I have not been, you know, he just, I don't know about Nick Fuentes because he's blocked me in 2017.
Right, I don't know very much about
but he's supposed to be.
That's the thing. That's the thing is that, and our connection is dog shit, by the way. I don't know what the problem is, but I hope it gets better. But one of the problems that I've seen, and I've talked about this a lot, but I'm too conservative for the liberals and I'm too liberal for the conservatives. A lot of the motherfuckers who follow me, maybe not, let me not piss them off all the way. A lot of the conservatives who I start to get into the world with, or they follow me, and if I look on their page, as Mike Harlow put, if I look on their page and like patriot Christian, like I'm like, you're not gonna like some of my posts, bro. Like I also post about pussy a lot. You know what I mean? Like this is not gonna go well, bro. You know what I mean? And
of thought. Like diversity of thought is our strength, right?
Right. Independence. And people like Nick Fuentes, I'm like, you're kind of a virgin, bro. Like, I can't, not that I'm like,
He's
you shouldn't be allowed to
kind of
talk,
gay.
but like, huh?
Se me hace un poco gay, güey.
Did you say Nick Fuentes is a little gay?
Yeah, se me hace un poco. Con el gatito, ¿cómo se llama? Wait, what's his name? I forget.
Isn't it, or no, maricón, see?
But you know, there's something to be said about youth subculture that's counterculture, and he, you know, he's doing his in his own little, you know, funky way, nose picking, booger eating, girl blocking way.
Right. Well, I guess with punk, straight edge has always been a thing, hasn't it?
Huh?
Because I'm not very in tune with the punk world, but straight edge has always been a thing, hasn't it?
Yeah, and veganism, and then there was like a little offshoot with like the Hare Krishna kind of stuff, but I never got into too much of that. I mean, I read about it. The Bhagavad Gita and stuff, I've read it, but as far as like actual straight edge, no, I've never identified as such. But I respect, I mean, if someone does, I have friends that, you know, don't drink, don't smoke, don't do nothing. It's all good.
Right. When did you first get into punk shit? When did you start doing that?
The late 1980s. The late 1980s. I was a precocious child. I went to a school that was like 7th through 12th grade. It was a big school, and so I would see older punks on campus, you know, with their crazy hair and their Sid and Nancy t-shirts all ripped up and held with safety pins, and it was like fascinating because I didn't fit in, and I felt kind of, you know, bad about it, kind of weird and awkward and like a lowly worm. But here were these punks that they didn't fit in, and they didn't give a shit. They didn't give a fuck, and it was empowering that they didn't give a fuck. But they had this connection through music too, which I mean, I'm into. I got really into punk rock guitar in the late 80s and early 90s. And of course, you know, the Sex Pistols, Johnny Thunders, Ramones, and all that stuff. It's still good stuff. It's undeniable good rock and roll. And yeah, punk. I'm forever punk.
Right.
I identify as punk.
Right. One of my favorites is
people are like, if you're really punk, you don't say you're punk. No, dude, I'm punk, and I say I'm punk.
Yeah, I hate all the fucking rules. That's the thing about metalheads. That's the thing about punk heads, is that sometimes there's some fucking rules, and it turns into high school all over again. Oh, those are those types. The only exception I will say is when it comes to hardcore dancing. When metalheads are like doing the fucking, oh, I'm doing karate chops in the pit, suck a dick. You know what I mean? If you're doing karate chops in the pit, you a bitch.
Well, who decides if it goes clockwise or counterclockwise?
God.
I've always been interested in almost like Jane Goodall studying the aims. Like, who decides, you know, if it goes, you know, which direction the mosh pit takes.
Have you moshed a lot?
No, I crowd surfed a few times in the but mosh, no, dude. And I hate it. Well, in more recent years, like I saw Slayer and at the House of Blues, and all of a sudden, boom, a mosh pit opened up right next to me, and I'm holding a $14 drink, and it just goes all over the place, right. And that's a bummer. But I'm excited for the people being excited. But I don't like being caught in it. Amor, muévete.
Look, that's a good sign. La negrita.
Brigitte. Bebé. Oh, Brigitte.
Gatita negrita.
everyone wants to have their fucking camera time.
Yeah, I've loved moshing for a lot of my 20s and now 30s. I haven't gotten to mosh in a while, but I love beating motherfuckers up, and then like I love running at motherfuckers and knocking them down, and then immediately trying to pick them up and make sure that they don't get hurt. You know what I mean? Dusting them off. It's a weird camaraderie thing. It's a blast. I love that shit.
No, people say it's toxic masculinity, but I think it's primordial. It's just within people. They want to, go berserk sometimes. You got to, you got to express yourself.
Right. And you know what? I respect your desire not to, because there are some people, as far as the primal versus toxic masculine, there are sometimes 5-foot girls who want to jump in the pit and just be like, I'm just like everyone else. It's like, no, bro, we're pulling our punches because of you. I'm not saying don't have fun, don't run around, but don't stand there like a fucking 6'2", 300-pounder who's gonna knock somebody around, because we're knocking into everybody else, and then when we come to you, we have to like, oh, don't hit the girl, and then someone's knocking into us. It's like
the rockabilly chicks, they come correct. Like they're fucking. They make sure they're immovable objects, dude.
I've never run into a rockabilly chick. I've never gone to a rockabilly show.
Or cholabillies.
Wow, that's a whole new world I'm coming. Okay, cholabillies.
There's like gothic cholitas, and then there's like kind of gothic rockabilly cholitas that got like the little bangs that are rolled over.
Okay. this is the world that I'm not, the deepest stuff.
East Coast, right?
Yeah, I'm New York.
Yeah, you're originally, right? Aren't you New Yorican?
Yeah, I was born in Long Island, but then I moved to the Bay Area when I was 9, and then I just moved back a year ago.
Because even within the United States, Latin culture has its differences, but we're both Generation X, right?
I think I might be millennial. I'm 86, born in 86.
Did you grow up with freestyle?
I don't think so. You saying hip hop? Are you saying hip hop? I'm still a wee lad. I'm still a baby.
Freestyle, it's like a very Generation X genre of music that's electro, funk, electro, kind of b-boy breakdancing.
Okay. Yeah. No, I know that. Yeah, I've done, because I've written hooks for rappers around the country, so I've been involved in that world before. Yeah.
But it's like there was hubs like in California, Miami, and then up in New York, where this style of music was like boom, 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 boom. That's like our Bo Diddley beat, for our generation, but predominantly Latin people. And there's Black folk and Filipinos that really, get into it too. And Filipinos that love to break dance. They're really good b-boys out there and b-girls, but it's like a particularly Latin thing. And if you didn't grow up in the 80s, I feel bad for you. Like, sorry for you.
Yeah, no, they're in San Francisco. There's a lot of those types of people down at the Boom Boom Room. Obviously, it's COVID time, so who knows what's going on down there. But there was this weekly event called Return of the Cypher that had a bunch of every Sunday night big like band, but they would play hip hop beats. You know what I mean? Like that 90s type of New York hip hop style with a jazz band. And then motherfuckers would get up and stand in the line, get up, and they would freestyle for 16 bars, pass the mic to the next guy. They'd freestyle for 16 bars. And then in the on the floor, obviously there'd be some dancing, but there'd also be b-boys getting on their heads and doing weird shit like that. And then especially in San Francisco, there were a lot of Filipinos. God damn. In fact, in San Francisco, Filipino is closer to black. That's what it is. Yeah, it's weird, man.
And it's really great. I miss the 80s. The comedy of the 80s and 90s was so much more open. Like, what happened to comedy? Like, what? I don't know. So that's what I'm rebelling against is all this constriction against people not being able to laugh, not being able to.
One of the things I was thinking about, and I was talking about it in an episode a few episodes ago, but like you were talking about, these leftists act like that Black people have never accomplished anything. Not just that Black people have never accomplished anything, they also forget that Black people have been having a fucking blast for a long goddamn time. In the 70s, put on any James Brown record, put on fucking Rick goddamn James. Why does he have the time, the energy, the effort to not only make that music, but all of the Black people and Mexicans and whoever else, white people who are dancing and enjoying that music and relating to it and putting on the fucking shit and going to the fucking club and doing the fucking, the fucking hydraulics down, especially down in your Southern Cal. Like, how have Black people, apparently they're getting hunted in the streets. Nah, stupid ass. Like, you're just making them less fun. That's I think, whether they know it or not, that's really the leftist goal. They don't know it. I don't think it's intentional. They want to ruin fun. They want to ruin context. They want to ruin joy.
You don't think it's intentional? Because if we look back in history, okay, all these communist, like Soviet, Eastern Bloc, from Poland on to the coast of Russia, bleak, miserable, gray, very dour, very just concrete, no personality, no fun, no color, no.
Sure, that's just not Russian people. I feel like Russian people are just kind of that way.
I don't think they always were that way. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. I believe that's just the oppression of Marxist theory and practice. And it makes everything dour and miserable and gray and just uniformly bad, uniformly brutal and horrid, and just the opposite of Rococo, the opposite of Baroque, the opposite of Renaissance, the opposite of all that.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. But the pawns themselves, let's not say like the dummies up top, but the dummies downstairs, the dummies on your regular average Facebook, I don't think their intention is to ruin fun. I think they really think they have good intentions.
People have replaced religion with politics or wokeism or progressivism or whatever you want to call it. They've replaced, because fedora tipping intensifies, they're like too cool for God. I mean, I'm not a religious person myself, but I'm not either, milady. I'm not a fedora tipper.
I've never heard that phrase, fedora tipper. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
What is that from?
Fedora tipping intensifies. The neck beard, like the guys.
Okay, yeah.
Samurai swords, and they don't believe in God, so they feel super superior to everyone. But actually, those guys.
Yeah, I've had. There was somebody, because I posted a really contentious episode last time. I had a Kristen Hawkins.
You got a lot of fedoras in your mentions.
Not fedoras necessarily, but I got a couple of motherfuckers mad. Less than I thought, which is good, I guess.
That is good.
But one guy came in swinging, as he sometimes does. He came in swinging on my Facebook about how fuck, and it's not a baby, and blah, 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 blah. And then a couple of women posted like, actually, blah, 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 blah. And then he calmed down. When a vagina said, fuck you, that's when he calmed down. That's what I want to get rid of, man. That's what I want to get rid of. I don't want to have black skin to say nigga. Like, I don't want to have to fucking have a vagina to say what the fuck I want. How many, I've talked about it on the show. No, I don't. But I've talked about it on the show. It's like, I'm not allowed to say fag. It's like, because I'm not gay. Like, I have had, because I dipped my toe in the homosexual vibe before. I fooled around with a few dudes back in my day to see what happened. It turns out it's not my fucking thing. But I got sucked off by a couple of dudes. And I'm like, how many men's mouths do I need to fuck before I get to say whatever the sweet hot fuck I want? Quantify it for me, liberal social justice warrior. How many mouths? Because it's like 5 or 6 right now. So like, is it 7? Is it 10? What is it? Stupid ass.
Hmm. Inquiring minds want to know.
You ever fooled around with a girl?
Nah, dude. But like, I'm trying to. I had a point,
And then you got derailed by the vagina
and I
question.
got derailed by all. No, I actually did have a point about censorship, and now I can't remember what the fuck it was.
You were talking about fedora tipping.
Oh, fedoras
And then I mentioned the guy on my Facebook.
and atheists.
Right.
Yeah, atheists can be cringe too. Like everyone can be cringe. People say, "Oh, Christians are so cringe." Yeah, well, everybody can be cringe. Okay,
Yeah.
not just fucking Christians. Please,
Right.
let's be real here. Everyone has the capacity for cringe. Everyone.
Right. Yeah, one of the things I was thinking about too is that I think far left or far right, anytime you take your opinion so seriously, you can't have a conversation with somebody or at least know people who are, I think you become less fuckable like the further you get. You know what I mean? I think you are less fun at the barbecue. People don't want to hang around with you. I can't tell you how many times like I've gone on a date with a girl and it's like, and then she starts talking and I'm just like, all right, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Like I don't even want to.
Escape plan. How do you get out of it?
With what?
What's your escape plan when you're on a bad date?
I just punch her in the jaw. That's what it, no. Uh, Escape plan when I'm on a bad date. I don't know if I've executed that very well because there was one I'd had a few months ago where I knew as soon as she showed up, I was like, she does not look like she did in the pictures. I am not attracted to this person. But I was like, you know what? I'll buy her. I gotta eat some food anyway. I'll buy her some food. You know what I mean? Like it'll be like a practice date. And so yeah, I didn't do a very good job that time because it turned into a political thing. And I was just like trying to explain to her that people who she disagrees with still have good intentions. And she just refused. It was horrendous.
I have never, absolutely never, and never will do any sort of online digital dating. None of it, never.
Yeah.
I've never done it. I'm not a people person. I don't fucking like people. I found one person that I like in 2015, and it's worked out for me. But other than that, fuck no. I don't
Does
fucking like people.
was it difficult for him to get used to the punkness, the Diana death of it all, or no?
Dude, I lucked out. I lucked out. I had to go all the way to fucking Italy to find a quality, actual, real dude. California dudes, I don't know, man. It's like they're brain damaged or something. I don't know, but it's odd. I never had any luck in California. Uh, but he totally digs that I'm my own person and I say what I mean and I mean what I say, and he's not afraid at all of me, of my actual being. He
Right.
actually digs who I am, which is rad.
Yeah, and that's important too. Like I've thought about it a lot recently, like on the dating tip during COVID. It's a little fucking because the normal way I would meet girls is at shows. You know what I mean? Like or
Oh,
going to a restaurant and getting served, and I'm like, I'm not doing either of those goddamn things right now. So it's like I guess that apps or whatever, and that's hell. So it's like I've been thinking about it recently, and I've been like, my quality of female, especially now that I'm God forbid I say it, but a public person, it's
a
gonna
pubic
have to be,
person?
huh?
You're a pubic person?
Yes, I'm a pubic person. No, a public person. Now that I'm a public person, she's got to be a down ass bitch. You know what I mean? And that's hard. That's unfair of me to go to a normal chick who like doesn't, you know what I mean, and like be ready to, you know what I
Be
mean?
You
Yeah.
know what? You should find a lady you can harmonize with. Like seriously, physically harmonize. Sing in harmony with.
I've had a few of those girls. The problem with sometimes musicians is that or people, you know, who are also probably trying to be, you know, a public person or whatever, is that I feel, and this is maybe this is, you know what this might be? This might be Pete's not selfish, Pete's subconscious blocks to getting what I want. Because that we humans are very weird. Like,
What do you want, Pete?
well, God damn it. But sometimes I feel like, I could be wrong, but sometimes I feel like people who are going to want to be also a public person are going to be like, well, if I tie myself in the public realm to this person who says horrendous words and has bad, you know, is a far right person, then you know,
yeah, it'll negatively affect their public, their credit score, that Chinese shit they talk about. What's it called?
I don't know what the Chinese one, but
their credit score.
Right. So it's like, I don't want to, I don't know. I know that I do want kids one day. I know that I do want the whole marriage shit too. So it's like, whenever that happens, I'm down, but I'm not rushing it right now. I you know, get my dick wet from time to time, but I'm not gonna be like, I need to find the one, because I'm still establishing my life right now. You know?
No, that's definitely, you have to know yourself. Definitely you have to know yourself first and feel, you know, stable on your own 2 feet first. Definitely. I recommend that. But marriage is so underrated now. Underrated. It's hard, you know, I mean, I'm lucky, but it's hard to find someone that feels the same way about that. I mean, people nowadays, I don't know. I'm so perplexed by humanity right now. How did shit turn upside down so quickly? The slippery slope slipped so quickly, and who provided the lube?
I think
It's bad.
yes, but I think people like you and I, and Mike and a number of other people that I can think of, who are intentionally not intentionally shitty, you know, or like not even like an intentional poke the bear type of person, but who are just solid mainstay pillars against this shit. As long as we are who we are, I don't think they can really take us down. I mean, unfortunately, yes, they can silence us on social media, but they can't take my fucking podcast away. They can't take your music away. They can't take, you know what I mean? And I think the people who are more in danger are the people who are silently agreeing with us and then get caught.
See, because I've always, ever since probably I had a MySpace, in my bio online, I've always put politically incorrect humorist. It's always been there. So people can't feel like, oh, this is some brand new shit that they can all of a sudden be surprised by, because it's not for me anyway. I've always taken pride in being, in fact, my very first band when I was 15 years old, my very first band, and we never made it out of the practice space into an actual gig, but it's the thought that counts. We were called the Politically Incorrect. That was our name.
That's so sweet.
When I was 15, and we played covers by The Bags, The Avengers, X-Ray Specs, like all these female-fronted punk rock, 1977.
What about the Slits?
This, me being me, is nothing new. I've always been me, but all of a sudden it's offensive, which makes it a little more fun. A little bit like Johnny Rotten wearing a Make America Great Again t-shirt is like, oh, even more offensive than when he wore like the Vivienne Westwood shit, you know. It's somehow, it's even more, people are just more offended now than when he went on the Bill Grundy show. I mean, it's hilarious. Right. And Van Morrison, did you hear about him?
No. I know he's talked some trans shit, didn't he?
Well, the songs haven't even...
Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of Morrissey. Morrissey is...
Oh, Morrissey, he's one of our guys. Morrissey, he's a good dude. He's his own
Mexicans
person.
love Morrissey for some reason. I don't know what
Oh,
it is with you guys.
because Morrissey loves Mexicans. It's a fact.
Hmm.
It's a mutual kind of affection.
Right. So what about Van
Mexicans
Morrison?
and Morrissey. It is Van Morrison. He hasn't even put the songs out yet. I think they're going to come out in a couple weeks. But he's written 3 songs that are supposed to be protest songs against the COVID lockdowns. And he's Irish. So the Irish government is freaking the fuck out and calling his lyrics dangerous. Dangerous. Nice. When the fucking government, when the status quo, their culos all clench harder than they've, ever clenched before over your song lyrics. Like, he hasn't even put the music out yet. I haven't even heard these songs, and they're already my favorite songs of the year. Because, the lyrics are pretty dope. Like, he breaks it down. He's against the government. He questions things. He questions authority. And that's punk. They read like punk rock lyrics. And Van Morrison has always been his own guy, and it's just funny that since 1964, this dude has been, rocking the fuck out. But in 2020, people are more offended by a 75-year-old Van Morrison, and his songs haven't even fucking officially been released yet. Nobody's heard them yet. We've only read the lyrics, and people are already freaking out. So, dude, that's
God bless anybody.
Legendary.
Right. God bless anybody who fucks authority. I think the reality is it became weird. Like, the authority switched.
Mm-hmm.
And so people still haven't caught up. That's why still in Hollywood, all the evil people are still like the white guy from Kentucky, you know what I mean? Or The Help, or all these other movies. Like, it's still the same old tropes
that shit
we've had
was
for years.
Cringe. That shit. Oh my goodness. But then there was the Green Book, which was supposed to be like super oppressive and horrible. And I watched it with my family, and we all enjoyed it. It was a good movie about a true story about a real pianist, not pianist, pianist.
Right.
So, I don't know. People pick and choose what they want to get offended by. I see more and more, and it's boring. Like you say, it's boring. It's dull. It's low-level thinking. It's like, can we bring the conversation up a notch, or no, they just want to keep it down here. It's so sad and so boring. Yeah,
Right.
like you say it.
So since you never had a giant switch over, you've always kind of been this lady. Have you faced a lot of negativity from your fans or friends or family?
I started on Twitter before I got permanently banned, noticing people.
Is that the cops coming for you now?
They didn't like my jokes as much anymore. They'd be like in my DMs, like, "Ew, Diana, can you not? Can you please not? Can you just talk about this instead of that?" And I'm like, wait a minute, where's this coming from? I thought these people were my friends. Like, I thought that we were all laughing together. I thought we had this shared, type of experience. And that's when I started noticing that there was a political aspect, that they were all the same type of people, trying to steer my conversation a certain way, or try to hinder me, saying, "Oh no, can you please not, la, 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 la." And I didn't even know I was committing any sort of violation at all. I was still being my own politically incorrect self. But yeah, it seemed almost overnight, 2014, 2015. Then the election happened, and I did not vote a certain way. And I didn't tell anyone about it, because my parents always brought me up to say that politics is personal and it's private. Your vote is a private matter and it's no one's business. And nor should you be, broadcasting your vote. That's a personal, individual, private decision. That's how I was raised. So I didn't announce who I voted or didn't vote for, but somehow people in the music scene, around town, could sniff it out, could tell. They could just tell. I wasn't as miserable as they were with the outcome of the election. They could just tell. They could just tell. And I wasn't going to deny it. I'm not going to pretend to be a cuck anymore. I started getting uncucked in 2014. I noticed in retrospect, I'm like revising, like, how did this happen? I started getting uncucked in 2014 and noticing weird stuff that the Obama administration was doing that I really didn't vote for, that I wasn't expecting, that I didn't agree with. And so I carried that skepticism, just kept growing until the subsequent election. And then I unregistered myself from being a Democrat in 2016. I walked away. Hashtag walk away. Yes, I did. I'm a Russian robot. I've been accused so many times of being a Russian robot because I walked away. There's no possible way a person could become uncucked. How does one become uncucked? No way. Why would one ever want to become uncucked? It's impossible. Impossible. And but I did. I'm not a Russian robot. I got uncucked. It happens.
Right. Now you've got a song. You've had a band for how long now? Now this particular band, right?
Razor Knights. And I'm only speaking for myself because the other dudes aren't, free speech advocates like I am. I do consider myself a free speech advocate explicitly. I do accept that label and embrace it. They're not so much. This was a song I wrote all by myself called IDGAF, and it was born out of frustration from after the election. Even though I didn't announce who I voted for or didn't vote for, people could tell. And in 2016, that December, after, November, December, there were a lot of Christmas parties that I didn't get invited for that year that I used to get invited for. Oh, shit. And then my birthday is in April, and there used to be, people that used to wish me happy birthday every fucking year for years on it. All of a sudden, I didn't hear from them anymore. It got weird. Like, wow, bitch, you can't wish me a happy birthday? Like, wow, shit got weird in 2017. So I was really miserable in 2017. I'm like feeling totally ostracized, totally disrespected. And I'm still the same person I've always been, which is the sad part, the
Right.
really weird part, that I'm still the same Diana Death I've always been. But that song just came to me one day because someone actually did say to me, yeah, you're making life difficult for me because of my friends. They all think you're so offensive. And I was like, get the fuck out of my house. I did. I said, get the fuck out of my house.
Right.
And then that song came to me. I mean, first it started as an exercise to see if it was possible for me to write a song with only 2 chords. And I picked F sharp and B. I just picked F sharp and B, started writing, and then you're making, all my friends think you're so offensive and blah, 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 blah. Then the lyrics started coming to me off of those 2 chords. IDGAF, you think I'm so offensive, IDGAF.
Right.
And the whole song happened, you know, probably in 10, 15 minutes.
Nice. Yeah, it's a difficult thing, man. It's a difficult thing. I've been thinking about it a lot from my standpoint, because my music has never been like overtly political, although I did have one track on the last one where I did mention it a teensy bit. And I don't want to, on the next album, I don't want to be like, this is a song
Overtly.
about, yeah, because I still want to have the freedom to sing about whatever the sweet hot fuck I want. You know what I mean? I still want to have,
Oh, you can,
yeah, I
but
do.
sometimes it's necessary to make a statement. And I felt, I mean, like I said before, I looked around and nobody else was talking about censorship. Nobody else was talking about cancel culture. So I decided, fuck, I'm going to talk about this. I'm feeling it. I've been deplatformed permanently off of 2 websites, and personally taken off of people's Rolexes, you know, like.
Yeah, that's
or
the thing too. As far as the liberals who are listening right now, because I know I have a lot of liberal friends and fans. Um, if you,
Rolexes,
if
I
you,
meant.
huh?
Rolodex, I meant, not the
Yeah.
Rolex.
That's all right. We forgive you.
When people get your contacts out.
English is your second language, is it? But for the liberals who are listening right now, if you don't stand up against censorship now because it benefits you, then you're a dumb shit piece of shit. Okay, just to let you know. I know you are like, well, I'll be quiet on this censorship, but if it happened, you know, I mean, I read Fahrenheit 451 and I was against that censorship, but now
Right.
censorship is benefiting me politically, so now I'll be a little quiet. Fuck you, okay? Just to be, let's be clear. Another thing that has bothered
They're all
me.
hoping the alligator's going to eat them last. And
Yes, exactly.
first they ate Alex Jones, and nobody cared because Alex Jones, oh, he's that tinfoil hat dude from Austin. Who gives a fuck, you know? But then, yeah, the alligator never stops being hungry. That's the problem.
Right. And it's the same thing when the liberals have been pushing, like, make sure you register to vote, register to vote. And I keep wanting to say, you don't really mean that if I'm the one who's listening, because I'm not going to vote for your shit. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
register to vote. Everybody, it's so important that we vote. Asterisk, and make sure only if you're voting liberal. Suck my dick. You don't believe that. You don't believe that. You will have personalities over principles, you know?
Yeah, and if you're female, you're supposed to vote a certain way, and if you're, you know, this color, that color, you're supposed to vote a certain way. It's ridiculous. I'm tired of it. I'm over it. That's why I walked away. I couldn't be defined by their definitions anymore. I don't relate to intersectionality at all. Don't relate. Can't relate. Not me. Sorry. Not.
Right. Because the reality is that whether they're black, white, gay, trans, whatever, annoying, boring victim can come in all shapes, colors, and sizes. You know what I mean? And people forget that. People think, well, black skin, so obviously, like they believe that, well, I need to take accountability for my life. I'm responsible for my decisions. I'm not allowed to hit people in the face. But then they change it because, well, they're black skin, so obviously they must have had. It's complete it's childish. It's
Oh, the
kindergarten fucking thinking.
bigotry of low expectations.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I
Like,
guess
I don't want them to lower college entry or bar exam. They're doing that shit in California.
what are they doing?
So they're lowering the expectation for the bar exam so a lot more fools can easily pass, you know?
It's the same
So
thing they were doing.
when you hire an attorney, you must, it's a must. You check that resume.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's the same thing so like Patrice used to talk about it all the time. Like if you're a cop and you're like, there are some precincts who have midget cops and they specifically wrote it in the test. Let's lower quite literally, let's lower the bar for them. Like that's not okay. Cause I could knock, if I don't respect the law, I'm just going to knock this motherfucker out. You know what I mean? Like
Like a
you arresting me requires me allowing you to arrest me. You know what I mean? If it's a big stady, as Patrice used to say, then it doesn't matter whether I agree with the law or not. You're going to take my ass down, you know?
No, and you know what? That's interesting that you mentioned that because it's not just a problem with the little people. It's a problem with lady cops. Too many of these lady cops, Sweden, Germany, England, Ireland, fucking everywhere, United States, are getting wrecked in the streets. It's terrible. I mean, I agree that women should be allowed to choose their career paths and stuff, but holy fuck. I mean, physically trying to bring down some 250-pound guy when you're 110 and you tase him and he's still, up and kicking and choking you out. Like
even skinny ass Jacob Blake was tased twice and he had 5 cops on him trying to wrestle him down. You want to throw a girl at that? And think that, well, now he's going to listen. He's not going to swing back or stab her. Fuck that.
I mean, it's like frontline combat, It's the same type of thing, except in the streets.
Right.
And a lot of women are getting wrecked, and feminism isn't always for our benefit,
Right. Yeah, let's start wrapping up, because this has been a fucking great episode. I'm glad we finally got a chance to do this.
We talked a bunch of stuff that I wasn't even expecting to talk about, but it's cool.
I'm an amazing interviewer. That's the bottom line. I'm just fucking amazing at everything. But now so IDGAF has already come out?
Yes, it just got released. It's on YouTube, Razor Nights, RAZORNIGHTS, Razor Nights. It's the name of the band, and the song is IDGAF. And yeah, the lyrics are all about how I feel about censorship and the First Amendment and my freedom. It's most important.
Amen. And then where else can people find you? Like on Instagram and the last few places that you haven't been banned?
I'm on Instagram.com, Diana Death Official. And I have a Parler page, but I don't fucking like it, okay? I don't fucking like it because I will get 99 plus notifications. So I'll click and it'll be all, this motherfucker you follow just posted this picture. Bitch, I know that's the feed. That's what that shit's for. So I can look at it and see what the fuck motherfuckers are posting.
Mama,
You
can change the notification
to tell me, oh, that shit's like, so I don't know if people are following me or leaving comments, because all I see is Laura Loomer posted this and fucking Dan Bongino posted that. I'm like, Milo posted this. Okay, but
can't you change your notifications?
The notifications doesn't have a filter on it, not that I can find.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't joined. I think I joined it once, but I'm like, I don't want to start a whole new thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm lazy.
I like having exclusive content on Instagram. That's what I call it. Exclusive content. Absolutely. On Instagram.
Well, great. Do you have any other new projects coming soon that we should know about, or not yet?
Oh yeah. I just during the COVID shit lockdown that we started happening mid-March, like the 17th, thank you, Herr Newsom. I did one collaboration with a guy named David Robles with a song called Free For All. I did the lyrics and lead guitar on there. And then I did backup vocals for another band called Subsurfer in San Diego. It's a real mellow, slow song called Hollow, and I just sing the word hollow, hollow. It's a really mellow little tune.
Nice.
And we're filming the video for that Monday, so that'll come out officially. And I mean, I'm always doing stuff, but Razor Nights is my main band right now, and Chinese Rocks, my Johnny Thunders tribute. But I haven't been able to do it this year all our gigs were canceled.
Right.
Are you able to collaborate with anyone musically right now? Like, are you
I mean,
feeling?
I think I had one rapper hit me up a few weeks ago about singing a hook for him, but we haven't had a chance to talk because I think he's been doing some stuff. But as far as collaboration, no. You know what I mean? Like I've just been focusing on the podcast and doing school and getting myself situated up here on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And, you know,
Yeah.
I definitely have been playing around and writing some stuff, some songs, but you know, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. As we come out of quarantine, I definitely know I want to get out there and perform more. So I will, but there's no real rush for me because I've still got a lot of artistic output going on.
That's cool. Well, the podcast is great.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I love the cooking episodes. You got to do one more with Mikey Harlow.
Oh yeah. He's a
That was
fucking
really
nut job.
good. The lasagna.
Yeah. Oh my God, that goddamn, I've lost 35 pounds since we cooked that lasagna. So I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to enter into because with him, I know he's going to want to fatten me up because he's an Italian mom. You know what I mean? That's essentially what he is. So he's like, oh, manja. It's just
But he stays like this.
I know. He's going to be very happy that you said that, by the way. It's so good to have you on the show finally. Thank you so much. Everybody go follow Diana Death.
Having me. Mwah.
Yeah, and wherever you're listening, make sure you subscribe and share. And find me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano. Go download and stream my album. There's going to be, oh, by the way, should I break this now? Sure, let me break it now. There's going to be a new video coming soon from my album. And I'm going to be working with the videographer and a couple of hot people. It's going to be wonderful. So make sure you tune soon into that. But yeah, make sure you subscribe and share this with your less offendable friends. And thank you so much, Diana. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Have a good night.
Rest of your night. Bye-bye.